The wind was howling across the desert like a beast. Sharp dust hit John's face as he pulled his coat tighter and walked forward. His scanner blinked red. There was something nearby. Something alive. John was a human explorer sent to map unclaimed planets. Today, his mission was simple: scan the desert zone and return to base. But now, in the middle of the sudden sandstorm, something was calling him. Is someone out there? John shouted into the storm. No answer, only the sound of wind and lightning. And he heard it, a soft, weak voice. A cry. He ran. Buried halfway in the sand was a wrecked alien escape pod. Smoke came from the back. The door was open. Inside, John saw a tall figure, silver-skinned, bleeding. The alien tried to stand, but fell. In his arms was a small child. She was coughing. "Hey, hold on," John said, kneeling. "I'm here." To help. The alien's eyes were wide with shock. His hand went to a hidden blade, but stopped. "You're human?" he whispered. "You save us?" John nodded. "Yes, just stay still. I'll carry you both." With great effort, John picked up the child and helped the alien lean on his shoulder. He brought them to his shelter, just a metal tent with heat panels and a fire lamp. He cleaned wounds as best as he could. The alien winced, but said nothing. The child fell asleep near the heater, her breathing normal now. John poured him some water. "What happened to you?" he asked. The alien looked down. "We escaped from a war. My people, they don't forgive those who run." John was quiet. "You ran for your family?" "Yes," he whispered. "I had to. My enemies will come. They always find the scent of shame." Hours passed. Outside, the storm grew worse. Inside, it was quiet. The alien watched his daughter sleep. His hand gently touched her hair. Then he turned to John. "You saved us. You didn't know who we were, but you still helped." John gave a small smile. "You looked like you needed help. That's all I saw." The alien's eyes filled with something strange. Gratitude and fear. "I must repay you," the alien sighed. "That's not necessary," John replied. "I'm just doing what's right." "No," the alien said, voice stronger now. "I made a vow, a life debt, and it must be paid." John laughed softly. "I don't need anything." But the alien stood. Even with pain, his body was proud and tall. "I have nothing left, no home, no honor, but I have them." He pointed to the sleeping child. "My daughter and my wife. She waits in a safe camp nearby." He placed a glowing pendant in John's hand. "Take this. Follow it in the morning. She will find you." "What do you mean?" John asked. "I must go. If I stay, they will find us faster." "You're leaving your family?" John was shocked. "I'm giving them a chance. A new path. You are that path." The storm outside screamed louder. John stood up. "This is crazy. We can hide. I can protect you all." The alien smiled a tired, sad smile. "You're brave, human. But some fights are not yours." He touched John's shoulder. "My wife will understand. Protect them. That is all I ask." Before John could say another word, the alien walked into the storm. Gone. John looked down at the glowing pendant in his hand, then at the little girl, sleeping near the fire. She opened her eyes. "Papa?" she whispered in a tiny voice. John froze, then knelt beside her. "Yeah, I'm here." The morning sun broke through the last of the storm clouds. John stepped out of the shelter, the pendant glowing softly in his palm. It pulled in one direction toward the red cliffs. He looked back at the little girl, still sleeping. She had curled up in his blanket during the night. She trusted him. Without a word, John packed supplies, wrapped her in a soft cover, and Began the walk. Hours passed. The pendant pulsed faster the closer they got to the cliffs. A narrow path opened behind a rock wall hidden from view. Inside, it was quiet, safe. John stepped through and stopped. There she was. Tall, graceful, silver markings on her arms like vines, eyes glowing with quiet power. And Pain, the alien woman, stood and stared at him. Her gaze moved to the child in his arms, then to the pendant. She froze. Her hands began to tremble. "Where is—" she asked in a soft, broken voice. John lowered his head. "He left, said they were coming for him." Tears filled her eyes, but she didn't cry. "He kept his promise," she whispered. "He gave you the pendant." John laid the girl down. Gently, she ran into her mother's arms. The woman hugged her tightly, then looked at John. "My name is Kira." "John," he said simply. They sat by a small fire. Silence. Then Kira spoke. "In our culture, a life debt is sacred. My husband's vow now lives in me." "You don't have to repay anything," John said, but Kira shook her head. "No, you do not understand. You are now bound to us. By choice or not, you are family." John was stunned. "I didn't ask." For that, Kira's expression didn't change. "But you accepted his daughter. And the pendant, that's enough." She stood and walked to a small chest in the corner of the cave. She returned with a strange metallic band, half bracelet, half technology. She placed it in John's hand. "This is a symbol. It marks you as protector of our bloodline. You may refuse it, but then the debt is unpaid, and the hunters will return." John looked at her. "Hunters?" "Yes," she said. "His people. They do not forgive betrayal. And they do not forget." That night, John sat near the fire, the bracelet glowing faintly on his wrist. He could feel it pulsing like it was alive. Kira sat across from him, brushing her daughter's hair. "Why did he choose me?" John asked suddenly. Kira looked at him. "Because you didn't run. When the storm came, you moved toward it, not away." John was quiet. The fire cracked between them. "You are not one of us," she said. "But you are more than human." Suddenly, the bracelet on John's wrist flashed red. A warning. Kira stood immediately. Her face turned pale. "They've found us." The bracelet on John's wrist pulsed red again. A soft beep echoed from it, then silence. He looked at Kira. Her body was stiff. Her eyes focused on something far away. "They are here," she whispered. "They've come for the girl and for me." John stood, heart racing. "How much time do we have?" "Not enough." The cave suddenly felt smaller, tighter. John grabbed his bag and the emergency beacon from Earth. It wasn't powerful, but it could send a signal far enough. Looked at Kira. "We move. Now." Kira gently woke her daughter. No panic, just calm instructions in her alien tongue. The child didn't cry. She nodded, holding her mother's hand tightly. Outside the cave, the desert was quiet, but not peaceful. 3 shadows moved over the cliffs above them. Kira stopped walking. "They send scouts first," she said. "They'll mark our location." John raised his plasma pistol. "Let's give them something to mark." They took cover behind rocks. John checked his pistol charged. Kira pressed her hand to her forehead, then touched the bracelet on John's wrist. "You are bound to me now," she said. "I can share my vision with you. Only once." Before he could ask what she meant, a rush of images flooded his mind. He saw glowing blue trails in the air, figures moving through heat like ghosts. He could see them, even hidden. He gasped. "What was that?" Kira smirked. "Now you fight like one of us." 2 alien scouts appeared, tall, armored, silent. John took a breath. He waited for one to step into open space zap. His first shot landed straight in the chest. The alien dropped. The second raised his weapon Kira threw a dagger made of bone and light. It pierced the scout's neck. Silence returned. John turned. To Kira, "You fight well. I had to survive long before you came." They moved fast toward a narrow canyon at the exit. John placed his beacon on a tall rock and activated it. A small green light blinked. "Earth's patrol may catch this," he said. "If we're lucky." Kira nodded. "We need more than luck." As they hid in the canyon, John noticed something strange. Kira was studying him. Her eyes weren't angry, not cold, just searching. "You are different from other humans," she said softly. John blinked. "How do you know?" "My husband met many. Most took. You gave." She stepped closer. "You held my daughter like your own. You walked into danger with us. You stayed." John didn't answer. Kira slowly reached out and touched the bracelet glowing on his wrist. "It marks you as protector. But perhaps you are more than that now." John didn't know what to say. His heart pounded not from fear, but from something deeper. Then a distant hum filled the air. A ship. Coming fast. Kira's smile faded. They brought the judge. "The what?" She looked him in the eye. "He is not here to kill us. He is here to erase us." Asterisk. The sound grew louder, deep, heavy, like thunder wrapped in metal. John looked up. Through the clouds. A massive black ship tore across the sky. Its wings shimmered with heat. Its engines left trails of glowing fire. Kira's eyes narrowed. "That is a Judge-class vessel. It does not hunt. It cleans." John's grip tightened on his pistol. "How many are on board?" "Only one," Kira said. "But one is enough." The Judge ship hovered above the desert, casting a giant shadow over the canyon. It released a deep pulse of sound that shook the rocks and echoed in John's bones. Kira pulled her daughter close. "That sound is a scan. He now knows we're here." "Then we move," John said, but Kira didn't move. "You don't run from a judge. You confuse him. You distract him." She placed her daughter into John's arms. "You take her to the southern ridge. You will find a tunnel. There it leads to an old escape route." "What about you?" John asked. "I'll stall him." John shook his head. "No, we stay together." But Kira's voice hardened. "My husband gave you his family. That means you make sure she lives. Do not waste his sacrifice." Before John could argue, Kira ran up the canyon wall like a shadow. Fast, silent. She was gone. John held the child tighter and ran the other way. Minutes later, the Judge landed. The ship didn't touch the ground. It hovered just above it. A door slid open with a hiss. A tall figure stepped out. Black armor. A flowing cape. His eyes glowed beneath a smooth helmet. In his hand was a long spear that sparked with energy. He walked with no sound. But the air changed with each step thicker. Heavier. He stopped in the middle of the canyon. Kira stood before him, unarmed. "You should not have come," she said. The Judge tilted his head. "You broke your vow. You left the order. You hid among off-worlders." "I followed my heart," she replied. "And I would do it again." "There is no heart in the law," he said. Then he raised the spear. Far away, John was still running. The child in his arms whispered something in her alien tongue. He didn't understand, but she pointed to his wrist. The bracelet. It was glowing again, but now it showed a small blue dot. And a red one. A map? Yes. The red. Danger. The blue. Kira. She was standing still. Too still. John made a choice. He found the ridge. The tunnel was there, just as Kira said. He placed the child inside and gave her a bottle of water. "Stay here," he said. "I'm going back." She clutched his hand. "Mama?" John smiled. "I'll bring her back." He returned to the canyon like a ghost. Quiet. Fast. He saw them. Kira was down on one knee, blood on her side. The judge raised his spear again, but John fired first. The plasma shot hit the judge's shoulder. It didn't drop him, but it pushed him back 2 steps. The judge turned. "You," he said. "Human." John stood firm. "Yeah, and I'm tired of you hunting my family." Kira looked up in shock. "You came back?" John nodded. "He gave you to me. That means I fight for you now." The judge raised his spear again. "You fight a weapon designed to erase civilizations." John raised his pistol. "Then let's see what Earth made me for." The canyon was still. John faced the judge alone, just a man with a worn plasma, pistol against a weapon built for war. The judge's voice echoed through his helmet, cold and calm. "You are not her kind. Why protect her?" John didn't move. "Because her kind left her behind. I didn't." Kira slowly stood, holding her side. "John, you must go. He was trained to fight full armies. You can't win." John gave her a sideways glance. "Maybe, but I only need to buy time. For you. For the child." The judge moved too fast. His spear struck out like lightning. John barely rolled aside. The rock behind him exploded from the impact. John fired. Hit the judge in the leg. The armor held, but it staggered him slightly. "You bleed." John said, "That's enough." They fought across the canyon floor. John ducked, dodged, and returned fire. But the judge was relentless, every move perfect, deadly. John was getting tired. His hands trembled. His pistol was heating up too. Many shots in a short time. The judge swung his spear. John blocked with a metal bar, sparks flying. The blow sent him crashing into the rocks. Blood dripped from his lip. His vision blurred. The judge walked forward. "I will end your suffering." Then a roar from the sky. A black dot. No. A ship. Earth tech. Fast. The emergency beacon worked. John smiled, even through pain. "You lose." The judge looked up. Boom. A sonic blast hit the canyon wall, sending debris down. John covered his head. Dust and rock rained down. When the smoke cleared, the judge was gone. Buried under a pile of stone. John coughed. Did we win?" Kira rushed to him. She knelt beside him, checking his wounds. "You came back," she said again, her voice breaking. "I said I would." She placed her hand on his chest, her silver eyes glowing softly. "You are no longer just a protector. You are one of us." The Earthship landed nearby. A rescue team came out, weapons ready. John raised his hand. "Stand down. They're with me." A soldier scanned Kira and her daughter as they arrived. "Non-hostile. Hybrid genetics. Unknown tech on wrist," the soldier reported. John stood, wobbling a bit. "Prepare asylum. They're under my care." Kira looked up at him. "You would do that? Even now?" John gave a weak grin. "Your husband gave me a family. I don't abandon family." That night, under the stars, the girl fell asleep in Kira's lap. John sat beside them, his wounds bandaged, heart still racing. Kira looked at him. "I feared we would die today." John chuckled softly. "I did too. But humans are stubborn." She leaned her head on his shoulder. "We survived together now." The desert was quiet now. No more storms. No more warships. John sat outside the Earth outpost, staring at the stars. His wristband, the one the alien gave him, was dark. Number. Glow. No warning. Just silence. Behind him, Kira and her daughter were resting safely in the base's living quarters. Doctors had cleared them. They were healthy. But something still pressed on John's chest. A weight that hadn't left since the day the alien walked into the storm. A message arrived from Earth Command. You are authorized to request asylum for the alien family. However, You will be fully responsible for their integration. John smiled. He had already made that choice long ago. He pressed the button. Confirmed. They're mine now. Later that night, the child crawled into his lap with a blanket. She didn't speak much, just pointed at the sky. Papa, star? John nodded. That's right. Maybe one of them is your father, watching us. She stared upward for a while, then fell asleep in his arms. Kira appeared beside him. Her hair flowed gently in the wind. She sat close, their shoulders touching. He would be proud, she said. John didn't speak at first. He knew what he was doing, didn't he? John finally asked. Yes, Kira whispered. He knew they would hunt him to the end, but he also knew you would never run. She took his hand. In our world, we choose mates not by blood, but by who fights beside us when hope is lost. John looked at her, surprised. I'm not your kind, she smiled. You don't have to be. And next morning, something strange happened. The bracelet on John's restorement for days began to glow again. Not red, not blue, but gold. He tapped it. A small light rose from the band and projected into the air. A hologram of the alien. Kira's husband. He looked tired, bruised, but calm. If you are seeing this, it means my family still breathes, he said. And it means you kept your promise. John froze. Kira held her breath. You were a stranger, but now you are more than that. You are their protector, their hope, their future. The message flickered and ended with 4 final words. My debt is paid. John stood there, eyes wet, heart pounding. Kira stepped forward and touched his chest. Now you are not just a human, she said softly. You are the legacy of a vow. Asterisk.